Yo, what's up guys, I'm back and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a drift car, a one with a new chassis. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so basically what I'm saying in simple terms is I'm going to show y'all how to tune the new chassis. So my old chassis, the 6.5, it's different from this one. This one has some different stuff on it. So it's a little bit weird whenever you're first trying to do it. And my drift chassis, it had a pre-made tune on it, so it was pretty good. So yeah, you really didn't have to do much work with it. So, but if you want to build it completely from scratch, this is the whole point of this tutorial. So I grabbed this free model BMW. Pretty snazzy, actually pretty nice actually. Some rims and the actual chassis. So all this together is about 10K try. So it's really low, not bad at all. So yeah, if you want to do this yourself, similarly, I will leave all of this in the description. So yeah, let's just get on with the tutorial. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're obviously going to need to position our wheel. Now, it's pretty much the exact same as the other chassis, so I'm just going to speed this part up. If you don't know how to do this, I will leave a link to my video on how to do all this in the description. Okay, there's that. It's not perfect, but it's okay. That'll work for what we're doing, so yeah. Let's just do that, then let's do this. Alrighty, so now that we have the car, if we actually go in the game and test it, oh, that is actually really loud. So if you go in and test it, you can see that the suspension is really loose, or it feels loose. There's traction control. It doesn't really slide. Not really any of that. So yeah. Now, anyway, now that we've done that, we can actually get to work on tuning it. So this isn't really going to be a video on how to like make it or customize it or do any of that. This is going to be a video on how to tune it or get it to somewhat good. So first up, what we need to do is we need to delete dynamic friction because we are not trying to do any rally crap, so we can skedaddle that out. And also, before we do anything, so anyway, before we do any of that, actually no, we should be ready to go. So yeah, first up, what we need to do whenever we open our HIC tune is we need to fix our wheel alignment if you want. I don't know why it's set to positive camber like whenever you get it, but it is. So I would recommend just set it to like 1 or something, or like -1 or something along that. So I'm just gonna put the rear to like -1 and then like the front to like -5, around that, so it gives it like a mean look. And then the weight, we can keep it around that because BMWs are kind of hefty overall. And yeah. Let's just scroll down and turn off electric because we do not want any electric power coming from that. And let's also make the horsepower like 650 because I don't know how much horsepower BMWs have, but they have quite a bit. So I just looked up the engine specs for this, and it says it has around 302 base horsepower. So Oof, at 5800 RPM. So what we're just going to do is we're just going to go in here, make this around 500. So yeah, whatever. Let's see, peak RPM. Let's make that 5 that, I guess, and then like this, and then make that I guess. Idle RPM. Let's make that 800. Okay. I'm just going off of the engine stuff, so yeah. Turbo settings. We're just gonna set this to natural right there. And we're also going to go down here and change this to rear wheel drive because they don't want to all wheel drive drift. And we're going to go down here and change this to false under traction control because we do not want traction control. We want to slide. We're going to go down here and turn off stall, so we're going to put false on there. And we're also going to go up back here again, and we're also going to delete auto so that you have semi and manual. I don't really use manual, so I'm just going to delete that. And now we have semi only, so yay. Let's scroll down a bit. Let's not touch anything in the gears just yet because we don't really know what we want to change. Let's go down here and change our handbrake because I want to change that to left shift. So we're just going to go down here. If you want to change a key, just go down here and do left shift. Now you can also change it while you're in game, but I don't know. This is a permanent change. So we're going to leave clutch as is because we're not going to use the clutch. Yeah, that should be fine. So also we'll keep ABS on, why not? That should be okay. So now that we have this set, we need to go down to our tires. So let's go check our tires. So we need to check our friction. So if we go down to wheels and select all of them, and we go down to custom physical properties, you can see that they all have a density of 0.1 and a friction of 0.7. And the elasticity, friction weight, and elasticity weight. That's not really too important at the moment. It's kind of complicated, so I'm not really going to explain what all this is. The main two things you want to worry about are like density and friction. So density is basically how like thick the object is. I don't really know how to put this into simple terms, but basically the higher the density, the more momentum it has. So yeah, so if you have a really low density, you'll not have any problems getting it spinning. But if you have a really high density, you'll have some problems spinning it. But once it's spinning, it'll keep spinning. So if you let off the gas whenever you have like a super low density, the wheels will probably just stop. But if you have the density kind of high, they'll keep spinning until it finally slows down. And friction is just how well it grips the ground. So yeah, basically what we're going to do is we're going to set all of them to 0.3 density because that's around the sweet spot where you want to be. And yeah, basically we're going to select the front two and we're going to make the friction I'd say 0.43. That's what I use. And let's make the back 0.4. Now you always want the front to be a little bit more friction, that way you don't understeer too much. Yeah, that's kind of important because if you understeer, you won't be able to turn and drift. But yeah, you want to always have grip in the front. So now that we have all this done, we can test it a little bit and see how it feels so far. So yeah, it feels a lot better. You can see that we're sliding a lot, but we will need some smoke, so that is an issue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in my toolbox, right, and I'm gonna pull out the smoke kit. So where is my smoke kit? Let's see, smoke kit. There it is. So we're gonna pop this sucker out, and we're also gonna put the smoke FE in there. So now we have smoke, so we can get a better representation of what it looks like this. Or not. Oh, yeah, there it goes. So yeah, you can see that we have a hard time getting our wheels spinning. So what that means is we probably might want to lower our gear ratios. So instead of increasing horsepower and making it unrealistic, we can tune it so that our gears are shorter and we can, I don't know, have more torque, because you need torque to drift or get the wheel spinning. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our gear ratios down here. And we're just going to change the final drive a little lower. So whenever you lower the final drive, it basically makes the gears longer. And whenever you make the number higher, it makes them shorter. So we're just going to make the final drive 4.5. And yeah, so I'm just going to leave it around there. And once we do it now, we should have a little bit shorter of a gear. So yeah, we do have a little bit shorter of a gear. And as you can see, we are drifting a little bit. But our wheels aren't spinning too much. So I want to get it into at least third gear. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to lengthen third gear. So I'm going to make this 2.1. So let's try that out and see if it lowers it a little bit, and shortens it, and we can get into third gear. So yeah, we're in third gear now. Initiate, and yeah, we're kind of drifting. And there you go, we're getting there. It's getting better, but let's see, what else can we do? We might have a little bit of problem steering. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to our steering, and I haven't made a video on this, but steering is very, very, very important. If you don't have good steering, you can't really control the car, because yeah. So basically, I'm do a quick briefing of this, and basically, steering inner, steering outer, that basically changes how much your wheel turns. So if you make this, let's say, 90 and this 90, like that, then we go in. You can see whenever we turn the wheel, it turns 90 degrees. And this has some pluses and some minuses. Whenever you turn, you can kind of turn, but you understeer a lot, and your car basically pushes against the wheels. The most I'd probably go with angle is probably like 80. If you go more than that, you're probably gonna understeer. So I'm just gonna make both of these 50, because 50 is around what you want. Return speed and steer speed. Basically, this is how fast your wheel turns, or your tires, I guess, your wheels. Steer decay. This is basically the lower this number, the harder it is to steer at higher speeds. So let's see what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 100. So just to explain what this is. So if we go in and test it, you can see that right now we can turn fine, but as we go up in speed, it gets harder to turn. You can see we aren't turning as much as we would be if the car was still. So yeah, normally for drifting, I'd keep this relatively high, so maybe 400. That's about right. Minimum steer, that is the minimum for steer decay. You don't really have to change this number, because if you just set this number high, it should be fine. Mouse steer exponential, don't really mess with this. I'm not going to go into mouse steering in this video, so sorry. Now we have steer gyro tuning. This is the important part. Now, for whenever you're using keyboard and mouse, you want the aggressiveness on the steer to be low, because you don't want your wheels to keep doing that like that. You don't want that, because that'll just mess with your drift. You'll have your car swerving. You want a nice solid angle. You want your tires to keep turning, one way for a certain amount for a reasonable amount of time. So you don't want them to like flicker or do any of that. You want it to, yeah. So basically, in order to fix that, you can change your steering aggressiveness. So basically, the lower this number is, so let's just make this, let's make it 10,000. I don't know why I deleted all that and did it again. I could have added 0, but anyway. So if before it was on like 100,000, but now since it's on 10,000, you see that if we spam it a lot, you can see that our wheel is staying kind of like that. And it's also, I don't really know. It kind of just makes it heavier. So yeah, if you try it now, you can see that, I don't know. It feels better. It's, yeah, so basically what I recommend is 5,000-ish, and then steer speed, I'd put that like 0.5, and then return speed maybe 0.6. So now if we try it, we hop in this right here, you can see that we don't really turn too much, but that is okay. So we initiate, get up speed. Like that. Look at that. Absolutely killer. Very nice. The tires are heavy in front, so the car's weight doesn't, yeah, basically this is how it works. I don't really know how to explain this, but I will go into a video on steering if you really, really want to know more about that. I probably will do a video on that soon, probably after this. I was going to do turbo gauges, but maybe this. Let me know in the comments what you want to see. Working turbo gauges for first person view or steering. So yeah. If we go into drift, you can hop into 4th gear, let the back end loose, and get a slide. Then whip it. Yeah, it's nice. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can do whatever you want, and yeah, that's kind of basically how you tune the new chassis. So yeah, I'm basically just gonna, I don't know, we could go test this on the Fleuron track for a little bit, and yeah, so I'm gonna take this to the Fleuron track, and yeah, I'll meet you there.